This is survival of the fittest. This is do or die. This is the winner takes it.
All right, folks, welcome in for another week preview. This week, very exciting week as we have two guests set to join us for the upcoming games. A few games already underway this week. We have the Bumblebees up 32-9 on Brothers Grimm, a game that Red, who actually supplanted Grimm as the number one team in the league this week on the power rankings, projected to win that one, but he's up early there. We have a few matchups that have yet to begin. The Dudes and the Hurricanes. It's a big, almost must-win for the Dudes. The Hurricanes continue to roll 7-1. And as it stands right now, the Dudes not projected to make the 100-point mark this week. Closest matchup, and also one of our special guests this week, will be Eric Runer of Team Irrelevance taking on Niskio and Nitro. He had a nice opening day there on Thursday. He starts out today up 20-0. The Horned Frogs and Second Street, battle of West Coast teams. They'll take each other on later today. And remember, folks, only a 2-hour difference now that we've changed the clocks here on the East Coast. When we come back, we'll be joined by two members of the league. We'll go over the power rankings and their picks for the week. Stay with us here as we prepare for the upcoming battles.
To a mic in this bar, so floor's open if you'd like to discuss top five.
This is survival of the fittest. This is do or die.
All right, we're back. And as promised, we have two, I call them two, members of the league joining us live here on what's long overdue. And again, I just want to apologize to the league for not being here and ready and available the last couple of weeks as I've been pulled out of town. But I'd like to welcome in to my right, Rick Spice. Eric, welcome to the show.
Mark, for having me, much appreciated, much appreciated.
And the guy to my left, we've seen him before. He's dressed a little differently today. Red, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Always good to be here.
Now, I think Rick would agree that we've always said that with the transition in place for you to take over as the commissioner of the league, the fact that you haven't stepped up for a thing this last couple weeks kind of gives me pause, and I think the rest of the league pause about how the league will be in your hands.
Yes, probably not ready yet for the next couple of years, so you should probably stay put.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
Mark, I've been thinking about this quite a lot recently, and I think the ownership of the league is going to have to come together in the off season. We're going to have to put our heads together, put it to a vote, and maybe we look for some outside help on this commissioner thing. If you're going to be moving on, we need that top leadership. We might have to put it up to a vote.
I can understand and I do appreciate it. The league's been very kind and supportive of me over the years, and it really means a lot. But let's get right into it. You two. I kind of highlighted in my open, and I'm not sure if you guys caught my open or not, but looks like we have two elite matchups this week. One involving me and Rick, and then the other one actually involving Red and the Brothers Grimm. So what I thought might be a good idea was, Red, you can kind of analyze the matchup between Rick and I, and then Rick, maybe we'll turn the tide and have you kind of preview the Brothers Grimm and the Bumblebees. How does that sound?
Sounds excellent.
Okay. Well, both matchups have had players start already. Red, will begin with you. Irrelevance up 20.1 to 0. We got a nice performance from Miller on Thursday night. How do you see this breaking down this week?
Well, there are a couple things I noticed. First thing that jumps out is Tom Brady on the bench this week going up against Pittsburgh at 2-5. Although Tom Brady hasn't performed the way we've known Tom Brady to perform, that's very surprising. The projected totals are about the same, 156 in favor of Team Irrelevance. The overall records are very similar. you normally wouldn't see starting in fantasy land. Um, some running back position for both teams that preseason you'd think maybe 4 of the top 8 running backs in the league. Richardson's been a disappointment. Foster's been hurt. Jamal Charles, however, still the best in the league. So going down, making it all the way down to the receivers, Jeffrey with Cutler out, who knows what he's going to be able to do, although it's been very impressive. T.Y. Hill with the lock of Reggie Wayne, you think could see some more touches. I have to say that I know you made mention our last talk that you thought maybe team relevance, little smoke and mirrors, maybe a little bit of luck, given how he's won his games. I'd have to side an air with the best players I see in this matchup, and that would be Jamal Charles. I think he's the best player on either team, and I would go with Nocho for the slim upset here, 162, 158.
Rick, I don't know if you have a counter on that or a quick thought on our matchup.
No, I mean it's well thought out. And the matchup's a toss-up. The buys, I think you have the big advantage with the buys. I've lost Kaepernick and Thomas. So I mean it's a toss-up. I think we're going to be right down to Monday night.
Yeah, and I mean to answer to Red with Terrell Pryor in the starting lineup as of now, that could change before 1 o'clock. But it's once bitten, twice shy. I've drafted Brady twice now. The first time he went out week 1 with an ACL tear, and this year he's not even a top 20 quarterback. So I feel like if I'm going to go down, let's go down with some new blood, and maybe get some rushing yards out of Pryor. But it's a tough call, and I still am not 100% sure where I'll go with that. Rick, we're going to go to you, but I don't know if you guys caught the latest power rankings. We had dropped Red down. Actually, as Rick had suggested that the commissioner really should have a say in how those power rankings go and not just let it be a default setting by ESPN. So that's what I did last week, and I moved Red down 3, down to 3rd place, and then he goes out and scores close to 200 points. Brothers Graham loses, and so despite all of Red's injuries, he's back at number 1 this week. Rick, your thoughts?
Well, this NFL season, not just the fantasy season, has been all about Peyton. And Brothers Grimm doesn't have Peyton in his lineup this week. So I do not like that off the bat. And obviously, Andy Dalton, with a poor performance on Thursday night, sets him back big time. So I see Bermuda Bumblebees lineup had some weaknesses as well. The running back spot, not stellar. Pierre Thomas is a total crapshoot. But I like what Red's done here, handcuffing Breeze and Thomas. If Breeze has a big day, maybe Thomas catches a couple of those balls. And Breeze has been great. So I still like that matchup. I like having the 2 New Orleans players. I've always liked that. D'Angelo Williams, not a great running back, not a great option. Loses his touchdowns on the goal line. So I don't like that. But he's got to roll with him. He's got nothing else on the bench there. Wide receivers, Reds lost 2 big ones. And he's still got a full slate, 3 top-notch wideouts. A.J. Green's performance on Thursday night, fantastic. He's got him in the lead. Jordy Nelson, he always catches the big ball. So I like him catching a score today. And who else is Matt Ryan going to throw to down in Atlanta than Harry Douglas? So I like that right there. Grimm still has AP. So he's got a chance, outside chance. But I like Bermuda out point totaling his projection of 160. I put him at 175 this week. Grimm, he may touch 150, but I don't see it. Red in the win.
Okay. And you're right. I mean, who else are you going to go to but Harry down there in Atlanta? No doubt about it. Let's just quickly look at a couple of the other teams before we wrap this up. Big Blue out of the cellar. Talked to him recently. He's really feeling good about some of his additions, players coming back. Andre Brown, Michael Crabtree, Percy Harvin. Any chance that they make a run at this, the playoffs that is, or do you think that it's a little too late for Big Blue, guys?
I'll go on this one. I like Big Blue this week. Darren Danko's team has been a major disappointment. I think he would agree with me there. So I like him this week. And once you get in 4 and 5, you're right in the mix. Who knows what happens with mine and your matchup this week, Mark? We could have 3 teams sitting 4 and 5, right on the cusp of the playoffs. And we've seen in this league, a lot of 500 record teams have snuck in the playoffs and won this league. So Big Blue is not out of it.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, you look at last week, last year, the 2 teams in the final. Well, maybe not you, but the team that won, I think, was 5-8 in the regular season. So
I was below 500 as well.
You were, okay. You guys have any feelings about any of the other matchups this week, or no? Brad, we'll go to you. I know you haven't got in a little while.
The matchup this week, I look to the Hurricanes and the Cool Dudes here. Todd at 7-1 with the best record in the league, looking to play. I believe the lowest projected total of the week, under 100 points. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't believe any other team is projected less than 100 as the Cool Dudes are this week. So, unfortunately for myself, I'd like to get back to the top as far as the overall winning and losing is concerned. But playing a team like the Cool Dudes isn't much of a challenge, and so it looks like Hertford's going to roll again. Sad to see when the team with the best record plays an opponent that doesn't put up much of a fight. So it's a sad state of affairs, Holly.
Red, I want you to hold that thought just for a moment, because I have another question I want to ask you about Todd. He's done a lot for you. We're going to get to that in part 2 of our weekly preview. Again, we try to keep it short, but sometimes there's just too much to go over. So please join us for part 2 coming up in just a few.